Okay, before we bother getting dressed for the day, let's see what we got in here. Still bubbling. This rust is still actively pulling itself off of this stuff. Yeah, let's pull out the monkey wrenches. And that one. There's another one in there somewhere. I'll pull them out and put them in the baking soda. So, been a few days since I've actually done anything. It might not seem so to you. It seemed like, I don't know, a day or two. But no, it's been a few days since I've actually done anything here. So, we're going to do a few relatively easy ones that just involve a bit of cleaning. A couple of pipe wrenches for you, which I colloquially call monkey wrenches. And got a drill guide, which I'm going to do some work on. Let's see if we can make these nice and clean and shiny. Oh, baby's got a hairball. I'll clean that up. Right with you. Gotta take care of the cat first. Emergency is over. She's fine. Let's see about getting these wrenches cleaned up. And we'll see what else we can do. This little one here first. First thing we do is take this top end out, drop this piece out. Scrub down with some baking soda. I got a little bit harder brush than that here. I think. No, that's even softer. Well, we'll use this one. Just any kind of dirt and grime. Scrub off if we get to the point where we can see the metal. Now, while we're working on the little ones, leave this one in the water and baking soda. Let it soak more. Gotta build up some crap down this channel. Old oil and rust and dirt. Clear that out. Yeah, you can see the metal now. Already looking better. I think we wire brush this one pretty hard. It'll clean right up. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, a lot better. I'm going to get everything out of the teeth. Out of those threads. Doing my best to do this without catching my fingers on these on this brush, which would be fucking catastrophic. There, compared to the rest of it, look how clean that is. this poses a bit of a conundrum. There's spots I can reach and spots that I can't reach. And get the majority of the large gunk with a knife blade. And there's spots up inside there that I can't reach. For that, that's when we break out toothpicks. This wrench is quite likely older than me, which means older than dirt. Look at that. Just piles of the stuff in there. Under that spring. Inside this space here. Some part of that probably used to be grease, but it ain't no more. Let's push that spring down. Reach on the other side, see what's down there. See about this. There are places I can't reach with that wire brush. All right. Finally get a look at the stamps now that we've got all the dirt off there. ETF Ltd. Don't know what that means. It's a number 8. Don't know what that means. Maybe if I tack this thing down, it could work better. Well, that would involve thinking and work. And I'm lazy. Look at that. Cleans right up nice. Relative to itself. Teeth are good. Just inside there I'm kind of worried about, but that's not too bad. Bent handle, but made in Canada. Means it's at least halfway not crap. That's 2 pieces. This provides a bit of a challenge. Let's see if I got a rod I can stick in there to hold it while I brush it. Get the gunk out of that knurling. A bit thinner head on another toothbrush here. I'll actually go all the way through it. Clean up the threads. There is more junk in there than I would like. It's cleaned out. About as good as I'm going to get it. As good as I need to get it. That's one down. The larger one will be easier. That's a lot better looking than it was before. So that one can be oiled and put away. Okay. Made in Canada number 8. ETF Ltd. Whatever that means. Now there is still guck around that 8 stamp, so we'll get rid of that. That little bit there. Nice and shiny. Wipe that down. One wrench in. Let's see what else we can fix. Alright. This one's a little larger scale, which means it should be a little easier to reach all of the places inside it. As long as I don't drop anything. Can't see any. Oh, there's stamps on this one, but I can't read them. And there's stamps on the top jaw, which I can't read. So, we'll wire brush those. Clean up the threads. I picked a couple easy ones for today, mainly because I'm pretty lazy this morning. I'm not going to go through with sandpaper and shine all this up. This is number 10, forged steel. That's good. I know that much about it now, just because of what's stamped on it. Looks a little better. For this bit, do I got any guck built up inside there? No. No, this one's actually in surprisingly good shape. It's got 2 springs, which is good to know. Pop out another toothpick, do some scraping around on the inside. It's surprisingly clean in there. I guess it being bigger does help. Helps the vinegar and baking soda get inside things, clear them out easier. Very little bit at the top of the spring there. Okay. This spring. A little bit of dirt there, but not much. Not nearly as much as was in the little one. Okay. Mostly just sludge and surface rust stuck on this one. Ow. That's what I'm trying to be careful though. These fuckers are sharp. I don't want them bouncing off my fingers too much. $10 M. Okay. 4110 Penance Corp Chicago, and a serial number. Well, this one's not Canadian, but it's also not in bad shape. So let's wipe it down quick. Make it pretty. Put it back together and oil it. That'll be the shortest. Look at that, nice and shiny and clean and functional, which is the main thing. And we're not trying to make things perfect. We're not trying to make things pretty. We're just trying to make them work. Keep them from getting any worse. And I think we're succeeding at that. All right. Get a second pipe wrench now. If I wanted to make this perfect, I'd be spray painting them red after the fact. But I'm not. So there we go. Nicely cleaned up and finished. We'll just oil it. Give it a quick wipe and put it away. We'll do the next one. See what else we got. I'll show you when I get one. That's about as clean as that chunk of scrap wood is going to get. So, time to change towels again. Took the one off the top of the vinegar bucket and swapped it out with the dirty one. It ain't the cleanest, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was in the its predecessor, let's say. There we are. This one I can actually wrap around the ends of the board and hold it in place a little better. There. What do we got to work on this time? Went through the bucket. Picked out all the things that just need cleaning, not cleaning and taking apart and sharpening and everything else. Like this, that needs sharpening. This actually needs some parts and some work on the threads. I did find a bolt that fits it, but the threads are a little rough, so I have to keep... I gotta act like a tap and go a little at a time to go all the way through it. That's gonna take some time. Once that's done, I gotta modify the head on it. But I picked out all the things that just need cleaning. Some of them are incredibly easy, like this. Had a bit of rust on it. That's it. It's gonna take about 5 minutes. Well, it's going to take less than a minute, I think. Well, some of these are really, really easy, but since I'm here, I may as well do them. Get that little bit of rust dealt with, clean everything up. Wipe it down quick and oil it. That's all it's going to take. All right, wrap this up so I can't wipe it down. Yeah. Even just with my fingers, wipe it down. Yeah, I'll use the towel. Wipe it down, clean out the inside of the sockets there. I mean, it's just a wrench off of a, I don't know, chainsaw or something. Wrench and screwdriver, but it's a tool, so I'm going to treat it with a bit of respect. What does it say on there? KLBINKG. Is that a B? Oh, Klein KG. You can see it, but that's what it says. So that's a part of a toolkit off of a chainsaw or a small bike or something. But I think it's off a chainsaw. Anyway, that goes on the pile. Finished. Well, although I look first, what the hell? Might be wondering about me wasting this much WD-40 is that shouldn't be a problem. I got like not even looking in cupboards and stuff. I see 4 more cans after this one, so I'm not worried about that. I keep it around all the time no matter what. There we are. What's next? Off the top of the baking soda bucket here, we got a chisel. That needs a wipe. That is hardened steel. I can tell after experience here by the black oxide layer on it, which has happened between the rust or between the vinegar and the baking soda. Creates a black oxide sludge. That means it's a good tool. And it is still sharp. Now it's clean too. Quick oil, and we're done. See, this isn't a difficult hobby. It's just actually taking care of the tools you have. And if you find something needs a little more work, watching this, you now have the skills to be able to, the knowledge to be able to fix it, take care of it. And if you can get somebody else's junk that they don't want to take care of, you don't have to buy new tools. Another one in the finished pile. At the end of this, I'll show you what we finished today. Next. Oh, this will be interesting. I have a little saw. 2 blades, one's for wood, one's for steel. The paint comes right off. And I don't worry about that. It's just cast aluminum handle, so not worth bothering with too much. Let's get a corner rag and wipe that off. I'll actually get a toothbrush, a little bit of Windex, clean that more. See if I can get the paint off the plastic. Blades aren't going to be that difficult. This is the hard part, and it's this easy. Well, that is a rough texture, but that's fine. Inside that little groove there. Again, this is a tool meant for like sticking in a kitchen drawer for little emergency repairs on things and little quick jobs that, you know, you don't want to break out your whole toolbox for. You just pull this out and use it. You want to just cut something off quick, there you go. There we are. There's the metal blade, cleaned up. Still got a bend in it, but that's fine. Let's do the same thing with the wood blade. Ooh, that is sharp. Just caught my finger on it. Put that one down. Oh, I've got my hands dirtier than the tools are. All that paint. But there we are. And just for the sake of argument, spray that down too. It's not going to rust per se, but aluminum does oxidize like any other metal. So I just might take the last bit of that paint off of the handle. All right, now I can show you. See, you put the blade on over that little notch, twist it, and it just pops in place. That's it. That's the whole thing. Pull it forward, put the other blade on, same thing. It just pops into place and you're done. And you got a working saw. So that goes away. Next up, I'm going to go wash my hands. And then I'll be right back and pull the next piece out. Not perfect, but better than they were. Flip the towel over, just, make it a little easier to see through the dirt. Now what I got left in here is a drill guide, a screwdriver, and a few pairs of pliers. Let's do this first just because it's easy. Easy and fast. That, already cleaned up. Whoop. I can't find any stamps or readings or size or anything on here, so I think this is an old homemade piece. No, there's nothing. There's no measurements or anything else on here. Okay. So there's that. Yeah. Don't even need to sand it. See, these are actually in pretty good shape. They're just dirty. All right, wipe that down. Oil it a bit. With the excess off. There we go. Another functional tool, all cleaned and ready to be put away. Screwdriver is going to be incredibly easy. The rust on this was kind of heavy, but soak it in vinegar. And then that warm water and baking soda. Smooth. Hey, I can actually read the stamps on it now. Let's see what it says. I'm going to get my glasses for that because it looks a little small. Actually, not the glasses. I'm going to put it up in front of you guys. Let the camera do the work instead of having to walk around to get my glasses. Now what we got here? What's this say? Well, it don't say anything. Get a look at it. Looks like maybe it's upside down. I don't know. You know? Looks like I do got to get my glasses. Not usually important, but it's always interesting to be able to read the stamps on your tools, find out what they actually say. It says, hardened steel. Well, that don't tell me much, does it? But it was kind of rough, so we'll do a little bit of sandpaper on it for the sake of argument. Get rid of any of that excess surface rust on there. Looks like it's been hammered on 1,000 times. A little better to read now. Ah, not hardened steel. Tempered Steel USA. Nice. Another American piece. So you Yankee Doodles can be proud. There you are. One more in the pile. Now we're down to pliers. I got a few pairs in here. Some of which were a little seized up and are no longer. Relatively clean too. I like it. I specifically chose what are probably the easiest ones to work on for this. Just to see how much I could do in a day. Or, to make up somewhere between a half hour, 45 minutes of video. There's one. No stamps or markings on that side. No stamps or markings on that side. I will assume cheap. Dollar store quality. There's one more down. These ones worked. Had a lot of dirt and rust on them. Still do. Check that out. They need a brushing. Yeah. Yeah, these were sitting in a wet bottom of a wet toolbox for some period of time, I believe. And they're a bit the worse for wear because of it. But they're still functional. So they're worth saving. Let's wipe that quickly. See how much better they fare. Not bad on that side, a little rough on this side. You can see a lot of texture there. Pitting, as it were. A little bit of sandpaper and touch that. Again, no stamping, no marks, no company logo, dollar store quality. And even after some period of abuse and neglect, they're fine. That was one of the worst ones. What's next? These ones were seized up right rough. I can only do about 35 minutes video before this camera, or this camera on this phone, is full, and I need to stop and dump it all onto the computer. So let's get back on this pair of pliers here, and we'll start recording again. Get them stopped a little bit more in that mess. Fucking joint there. And between jaws here. Clean up relatively easily. Like I said, I picked out all the easiest ones to do today, just to see how long it takes to do a whole bunch. Now the cover on here is all torn up. I might just rip these rubbers off. Yeah, I'm just going to cut that rubber off. Just loose on one and pile up on the other. Then we'll clean the handles too. I'm usually wearing gloves when I use these type of things anyway, so I'm not too worried about the grip. I can buy a can of dip if I want to put rubber on the handles again, which I probably won't. Okay. They're nice, clean. Let's get them oiled up a bit. Get that joint moving easier. There we are. There we are. Perfectly functional. Look at that. Use them a bit. More guck comes out of the joint. Make them cleaner. On both sides. Come over here too, yep. Work that all loose. Makes them easier to use, I noticed that. Let's clean them, wipe them off, and they're ready. They're as clean as they're going to get, or at the very least, they're as clean as I'm going to get them. Again, no stamps, no marks, but there's no rust on them now either. Okay, they go in the pile. I'll pull the next one. Only two left. Oh, these are tight. You can tell they've been there a long time because those handles used to be red. Pretty pink now. It is a pretty pink. There, those are loosened up already. Again, I generally buy cheap tools, so finding no markings on them is usually not a problem. There's that. If this is one more pair of pliers to clean, I'll be done for the day. I only got a couple things left in the bucket, and a few things that need to be sharpened and repaired. Today's last project. Oh, those are tight. Very similar situation to the last few. Got a black oxide on this, so they're good hardened steel. Yeah. It's coming off black like that means there's a little more carbon in it. It's a hardened steel, not just a mild steel. Speaks to quality. Sometimes. There are points when you want hardened steel or high carbon steel, and there are points where you don't. The difference is tension and torsion. High carbon is good for tension, not for torsion. Torque, as it were. Let's get inside that joint. Scrub it in there as best we can. And again, you don't need any special tools or equipment to do this. I got an old toothbrush, an old wire brush, old knife, some sandpaper here and there. There we are. She's working now. Wipe it down. That's the final piece. I think that's pretty good for a day. I'll lay them all out to show you what we've accomplished. That's not bad for a relatively short period of time. Just a couple hours. We got 2 pipe wrenches cleaned up, 2 screwdrivers, 5 pairs of pliers, a drill guide, a chisel, and a saw. That's not bad. I mean, that's just a couple hours of work. It's not that hard to do. And it ain't expensive. I mean, baking soda, Windex, WD-40 is about the most expensive thing here. Couple of wire brushes, a couple of old toothbrushes, some water, and some vinegar, and a couple of buckets. It's not a hard thing to do. No. You take out an hour or 2 out of the day, you take your old tools, and you clean them up. And then they'll last forever. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if most of the stuff here is older than me. I mean, that's probably from the 50s or 60s. Probably 50s. I mean, I'm from the 70s. This one too, about the same. I know I bought these ones. I'm pretty sure I bought these ones. The rest of these I found. They're just floating around. Who knows where? Somebody threw them out. That could be out of my grandfather's toolbox for all I know. Probably is. Now, the only chainsaws I've ever owned, somebody else threw out, so I don't know where I would have got one of these other than out of the garbage. That somebody must have made at home. But it's still functional. Clean it up, and it's perfectly fine. I think that was my dad's. Not entirely sure. I don't know. And that, I got no idea where that came from. I showed up at my house one day when I moved in. It was probably left over from somebody else that moved out. And that was, what, 4 or 5 houses ago? So yeah, it doesn't take much. A little time and a little effort. Not expensive. Just restoring things or just taking care of things, cleaning them up a little. And then you'll have a full toolbox. You can keep them to use, or you can put them up on Craigslist or Marketplace or something and sell them. People always buy tools. That's the one thing. It's like a guaranteed sale. You put tools up for sale, somebody's going to buy them. Okay, talk to you next time.